Hey guys, this is DT. We are back with some Hearthstone, the Grand Tournament card reveals. Technically, it's not card reveals any longer, but we're going to do some rapid reaction to both Mage and Paladin today. So, kicking things off, Arcane Blast, 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion. This spell now gets double bonus from spell damage. I think there's just enough spell damage out in the decks with the Zerdrake that this can be very powerful. And of course I think this will buff other spell damage cards. I could see this actually taking the place of mage removal in most decks, in the meta even in the meta. I like this card quite a bit for removal. I think you'll start seeing Fireball and Frostbolt Ice Lance going more towards the face in general. So this is quite a good card. You can get amazing value out of it if you can set it up correctly. Fallen Hero, 2 mana, 3/2. Your hero power now deals 1 extra damage. The mage hero power is really strong already. This just increases its power. Imagine playing this on, during the Tavern Brawl, I was playing this on turn 3 with the coin. So you get basically a 3/2 on the field, and also you get to use your hero power to take something away that he just dropped. That's a very, very strong opening. So I like this in, I could even see this in Mech Mage, obviously not Freeze Mage or anything like that, but Mech Mage and Mid-Range Mage, and obviously any Inspire Mage that pops up, I could see this being very powerful as a 2-drop in those decks. Effigy, one of the more fun cards coming out of, for Mage at least. 3 mana, secret, whenever your friendly minion dies, summon a random minion with the same costs. Crazy stuff can happen from this card. Very RNG based. You can play with the RNG game pretty well by, obviously having 1 minion on the field, so you're forcing it, but also kicking this guy around, 4 drops or 6 drops or 7 drops. Imagine dropping a Dr. Boom, crashing Dr. Boom into something and killing it, and then effigying out an Archmage or a Ronin that we're about to see. Or maybe Ronin dies and you get a Dr. Boom. I guess Dr. Boom wouldn't be very valuable. But yeah, there's a lot of 4, 6, and 7 drops that Effigy really plays really well with. You can even do 8 drops and get some nice synergies. Actually, this would really work well in what am I thinking of? Giant. Yes. Mage Giant would be very interesting because you'd be able to get something out very cheap, like a Molten Giant out really cheap, play Effigy at the same time, crash him into something, get another Molten Giant or some other giant along that cost line. So, like that card quite a bit. Very high skill cap. Next card, Polymorph Boar, 3 mana, transform a minion into a 4/2 boar with charge. I've had a lot of fun with this card in the Tavern Brawl so far. This is a really strong card. It's going to replace, I think this will replace normal Polymorph in just about every situation. You can play offensively, defensively. You can, of course, just like Polymorph, get rid of all of the flavor text so you don't have to worry about silences or divine shields or any of that BS. You basically play Polymorph Boar and kill it with an Arcane Blast. And that nice little 4 mana combo is pretty good for removal in general. Or you can play it offensively. Play something with a Battle Cry, polymorph it, or maybe even a charge. Polymorph it, and you get double damage out of it. So yeah, very strong card, high skill cap. I think we'll see some very fun plays out of this card also. Spellslinger, 3 mana, 3/4. Fairly good stats. Add a random spell to each player's hand. I don't think it has good enough stats to warrant that flavor text, honestly. That much of it. Basically, you really can't play this on curve. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't play this on curve. I tried quite a bit, and if you play this on turn 3, turn 4, they get to use whatever spell they got, more than likely, to get rid of your Spellslinger or to control the board, and you're just giving them too much early. You have to play this on, I think, turn 6 or 7, so you can play your spell at the same time. Unfortunately. Just not a big fan of this card. I think it's too slow. And why would you want to play a Spell Slinger on turn 4 or 6 or 7? That's not going to get you anything really. Dollarine Aspirant, 4 mana, 3/5, Inspire, gain 1 spell damage. This plays really well with Arcane Blast, obviously, and also Fallen Hero. Oops. And if there is an Inspired deck to be made with Mage, then yeah, he's going to fit pretty nicely in that 4th slot. I don't think he's the strongest of the 4 slots. It won't make any other decks. He's too slow for any other Mage deck, but if there's going to be an Inspired deck, then yeah, he's going to see play, obviously. So good for what he's good for. He's going to be okay in Arena also. Flame Lance, this is a bad card. I'm not a big fan of it. Haven't been a big fan of it so far in the Grand Tournament Brawl. 5 mana, 8 damage to just a minion. Obviously, you can't have this go face. I just don't think it's the card that mages need. And it's just, yeah, it's just not valuable for what mages need right now. So they have enough spell damage that goes to minions, hard removal. We just got Arcane Blast. Arcane Blast is just infinitely better of a spell than Flame Lance. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I don't believe so. I just don't see a lot of use coming out of Flame Lance, even in Arena. So, Caldera Drake. This is a card I really want to try and make work. I think it's too slow. 6 HP is going to last for a long time. It should last a turn. So you could play this on curve as a 6/6. There's better 6/6s out there, but you know, given that most of those legendary 6/6s have 5 attack, it's probably guaranteed to live. I'd like to make this work. I haven't gotten any good use out of it so far in the Tavern Brawl, and that might just be because we're playing against a hunter deck, and things are just too fast, and so you're just dead if you just try and play Caldera Drake on turn 6 and wait till turn 7 to try do 3 Arcane Blasts, not Arcane Blasts, but Hero Powers. I just don't think the Hero Power mechanics is strong enough. I don't know. So the big thing with Inspire, I'll just say this real quick. I've noticed that with Inspire decks, that if you can gain board control, then you snowball really fast. It's like Mech Mage, or it's like mechs in general, like Mech Shaman. If you can control the board, if you win board control at the very beginning, and you have 2 or 3 Inspire cards out there, then you have tempo, because you can play your hero power and gain tons of value out of it. So you'll always have more cards. You had the board control already. The game snowballs really fast. At turn 6, if you don't have board control, then you've lost, as with an Inspired deck, because you won't get it back. If you do have it, you'll play Caldera Drake, and you're already winning, and so next turn you'll just win more. So it's just not as important of a card as I thought it would be whenever it was originally revealed. Still a neat card, neat mechanic, but not, it's just not that strong. And finally, Ronin. Really love this legendary. This is one of my more favorite legendaries, mostly because I like to play Mage quite a bit. But 8 mana, 7/7, Death Rattle, add 3 copies of Arcane Missiles to your hand. This is, while it's not necessarily stronger than some of the other 8-drops that are out there, like a Ragnaros or whatnot, I like this as it plays really well inside of a Mage deck. There's lots of synergies. You don't want to give any mage 3 versions of Arcane Missiles. I mean, that's just 9 damage right off the bat. All the spell damage going around. Imagine if you played a Malygos, then those Arcane Missiles turn really deadly. Imagine if you played an Archmage right afterwards. Those Arcane Missiles become really deadly. It's a better, kind of like, I like to think of this as a better Toshli. I'm not sure if that's apt, but I like the idea behind the card about getting Arcane Missiles more so than getting spare parts. Into that, and I think he's worth the 3 extra mana. Obviously, the 7 health versus 5 health, it matters, but it doesn't really matter that much. it can get BGH'd, but it doesn't really matter because you have the death rattle, and that might actually keep people from using BGH on this card because then you're giving them 9 free damage to use however they see fit. So again, like this card a lot. Obviously, it only fits inside Mage, but with Archmage and Ronin together, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I like them both quite a bit. Alright, now let's move on to Paladin. We'll just get these out of the way also. Not a big fan of Paladin decks in general, but I'm trying to come around, and I have a friend who's massive into Paladin. He's trying to get me on board. So first off, 1 mana, Competitive Spirit. Secret, when your turn starts, give a minion 1/1. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. It's nice. There's some places that it's cute to play this. You know, it's cool that you get to pick your minion. No, not pick your minions. It's all minions, but obviously you'd probably want to play this after a muster for battle. You have to keep all of your minions alive, so you can't. It's hard to play 1/1s. You know, you muster out. You have a whole bunch of 3/3s on the board. They turn into 4/4s. Probably, if you can keep them alive. I don't know how much more valuable 4/4s are than 3/3s. But you know, for 1 mana, I think, especially with the later secret card that Paladins get, where all the secrets come onto the field at the same time, I could see this being valuable. Maybe. I don't think a deck's gonna be built around it, and I don't think this is one of the better Paladin cards, but it's definitely up there. Argent Lance, 2 mana, 2/2. Battlecry, reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, +1 durability. Paladins have too many weapons already. I think I heard, who was it? It was either Crip or, I think it was Crip. I mean, Paladins already have too many weapons already. Giving them more durability is just prolonging how long this weapon will last until you get into the better weapons. And if it had been +1 attack, so it turned into a 3/2, it'd be way overpowered. So this is one of those cards that I don't think it's balanced, but it's not really inside Paladin. It doesn't really work very well because there's better options for your 2-drop, and then once you're out of that, you're into 3-drops, and you have lots of options at that point. I mean, you play this on 2, then what are you gonna play? Let's say you play this on 2. Now, you attack something, and you have 2 more durabilities. But then on turn 3, you're probably gonna play a Coghammer anyway. I'm not a big fan of this card all that much. And again, like if it had been 3 attack instead of 3 durability, that'd be way overpowered for a 2-drop. So, not much Blizzard could have done with this card, unfortunately. Really, probably pretty good in Arena, actually. I think this will be really good in Arena. But Seal the Champions, give a minion 3 attack and Divine Shield for 3 mana. I've always really liked Divine Shield. I think that's one of the stronger mechanics, especially in the Paladin toolkit. 3 attack with the Divine Shield is even better. You can reach up and kill something, and pop out of nowhere, and have that minion stay on the board. So, yeah, I like this card quite a bit. I think you'll see this in quite a few Paladin decks coming in the future, and yeah, a good card overall. Obviously, it'd be good in Arena too. Let's see, 3 mana, Warhorse Trainer, 2/4. Your silver hand recruits have +1 attack. The 2/4 is good body. Other 3-drops, not very many other 3-drops you'd really want to play. One of the nice things is you can pair this with Muster pretty well. So this is kind of a nice setup card. It's going to last. There's not very many things in the 3 or 4 drops that will kill it, at least initially. Obviously there's no charge 4 drops that'll kill it. Not very many spells either, so you're probably guaranteed that it's going to last until turn 5 at least. So yeah, I mean it's especially in the muster decks. I think you might see this. So this might even be good just in general for Paladin. This is I actually like this card quite a bit. The one attack, it'd be cool if it was actually one health, but the one attack, I mean, you're going to go offensive with your Silver Hand recruits anyway, so might as well give him more attack. Makes his Silver Hand recruits really scary at that point. Murloc Knight, 4 mana, 3/4. Not the greatest stats in the world, but you summon a random Murloc, so you can actually. Let me go on a limb and say you could actually play this card. Maybe not in a real constructed deck, but in a fun deck. And I mean, you're gonna get value out of them no matter what. You get the 3/4 body for 4. You get a 1/1. Sorry, let me back up. For 6 mana, 6 mana, you get a 3/4, a 1/1, and some other Murloc, which is probably going to be around like a 2/1 that that could possibly actually have synergy with your Murloc Knight. So, I mean, there's only so many Murlocs, and a couple of them are actually really good. So, I could see this might actually kick off. This is the type of card that I could see kicking off actually a Murloc deck in Paladin. It's that strong. Mostly because you get that extra Murloc that's random. It's not from your deck. And you also get the 1/1. So you're actually filling up the board pretty fast. Like this card a lot if Murloc Paladin is ever a thing. Maybe even an Inspire Paladin deck. I could see that even too. Inspire in Paladin decks is really strong. I think that's going to be Inspire in Paladin. I'd say even Druid and probably Mage. I like the chances of seeing Inspire decks from those guys. So let's see, Tusker Jouster, 5 mana, 5/5. Battlecry, reveal a minion in each deck if yours costs more. Restore 7 health to your hero. Okay, so 5 mana, 5/5. That'll kill most other 5/5s. It'll kill most 6-drops. It'll kill most other 5-drops. It'll also kill most other 6-drops, especially the legendaries. A lot of people are playing the legendary 6-drops, and just about all of them have 5 health. So, yeah, 5 attack is pretty good, and getting 7 health out of it is actually pretty good too. I mean, that's unbelievable. Most Paladin decks, you're trying to push it towards the end game. You don't even have to be playing Control Paladin to be trying to do that. And that 7 health is pretty ridiculous, actually. I'm surprised it's not 5 health. But yeah, 5 for 5/5. You're getting good control. You're getting good board presence with him, and you're getting lots of health. So yeah, I like this card quite a bit. I think it might see play in quite a lot of decks, actually. And it might be one of the stronger cards in this deck, in this in Paladin. I don't know, maybe. I like this card a lot. So I mean that's a lot of value if you win that joust. I'm actually surprised it's 7. Quite honestly, that's a lot of health. But yeah, good card, very good card. Let's see, what are we at? Enter the Colosseum, 6 mana, destroy all minions except each player's highest attack minion. So, initially I like this card quite a bit, but honestly, at 6 mana it's kind of expensive, especially if you're going to leave the 2 highest attack minions on the board, and you're killing your own minions also. It's kind of a neat concept, but I think it's very expensive for board removal, especially when you have your oh my gosh, yeah, not the inner fire. Holy wow, I have completely gone on the names. Basically, you can it's your equality combo. So doing the equality combo, I think, does a better job anyway, and it's cheaper. I think it's cheaper. Why not? It's fairly close in the same cost range. And I don't play Paladin quite often enough, I guess it is. I just don't see a value in this card. I don't think it'll be played. I don't think people will pick it up. It won't see, definitely won't see constructed value. I wouldn't even pick it up in Arena. Probably not. Maybe. It might be okay in Arena, but to swing the game back. But I just don't see a lot of value in it. 6 mana, Mysterious Challenger, 6/6 Battlecry. Put one of each secret in your deck onto the battlefield. I like this card, obviously, for secret decks. I think Secret Paladin's going to make a comeback this season, especially with the new secret that we just got, the 1/1, where you get, you give all of your minions 1/1. This is kind of a neat card because you're guaranteeing that you're going to get that 1/1 out on the field. You're also guaranteeing that all of your minions are going to stay alive. Not all of them, but most of your minions are going to stay alive. And it depends on what other secrets that you have, but you can do some interesting stuff with this card. So I don't think this will see play in any other deck outside of a Secret Paladin. But I like this card nonetheless for a 6/6. And finally, the legendary 7 mana Idrik the Pure, 3/7 Battlecry. Change all enemy minions attack to 1. Man, it's strong, but I mean, it's like a one-sided equality, obviously. Not equality. What is that? Again, blanking on my Paladin cards here. But the completely blanking on the Paladin cards here. I'm so terrible at this. Oh my gosh, bad. Anyway, point being that, I want to like it. I have got a couple of friends who are super excited about it. I just don't see it, honestly. I don't think it's as strong as some of the other Paladin, as some of the other legendaries in this deck. Obviously, Warrior is really strong. I like Shaman, and Druid's really strong. Mage is really strong. I just don't see this being in the upper echelon as far as legendaries go. That's all. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll change some meta, but I don't see people really including it, quite honestly. So we'll see. I mean, you never know, I guess. But turn 7, I guess you'll be dropping some large minions down, but at that point you can't. They usually have some sort of strong effect. So, like if this was silence and drop them down to 1 HP, 1 attack, then I just don't like this card all that much, I guess. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Not a big fan of this card. We'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong for my for everyone's sake. But yeah. So anyway, so that's Paladin and Mage. Just a real quick overview. Super high on Effigy, Polymorph Boar. Some of the other Mage cards like Arcane Blast and Fallen Hero are kind of fun. And I really like Vernon. On the Paladin side of things, the big winner, I think, is the probably Tuskar Jouster. I like Tuskar. I think Murloc will be it'll be interesting to see what happens with Murloc. Competitive Spirit might be interesting. Seal of Champions is just a workhorse. Seal of Champions and Workhorse are both just strong cards in general. I don't know, maybe Workhorse Trainer actually might surprise us. If there was a surprise card, let's actually do that this time around. We'll do surprise cards. How about that? We'll do surprise cards. So we'll say the goat. We'll do a goat and a surprise card. So the surprise card of this deck will be Warhorse Trainer. I think this will surprise me by how powerful it ends up being. Mostly because I don't know Paladin well enough, but also because the effect just seems like it should be strong, especially given how sticky it is that early in the game. And on the Mage, oh yeah, and the goat, the card that looks good that's going to be terrible card that looks good that will be terrible. I think it's going to be, well, it's going to be between Mysterious Challenger and Enter the Coliseum. I'd probably put my money on Enter the Coliseum. Yeah, I'd say Enter the Coliseum is probably the better bet as far as the goat of this card. This card looks really good. In a very aggro heavy, maybe it is, but for the most part, I'd say not. And on the mage side, the surprise card, I'm going to go out on a limb. I almost want to say Spellslinger is going to surprise me. I'd like to see Spellslinger surprise me, but I bet there is actually going to be an Inspire deck with Mage. I bet that will be a thing. I bet there's enough cards with Inspire. Someone's going to think of something very interesting to do with Inspire with Mage. You can slow the game down. You can wrestle back. Yeah, Mage has enough early game cards and early game removal that they can win the turn 1, turn 2s. So you can live to the turn 3s and get your Inspires out. They also have good Inspire mechanic. And I think you're going to see, I really do think you'll see a Mage Inspire deck that actually plays really strong on the ladder, and maybe even in some tournaments. So this is going to be my surprise card, my GOAT. I think it's just going to be Caldera Drake. I think that's going to be the card that everyone's excited about that just doesn't live up to expectations. Yeah. The big thing, turn 6, you've either won the game or you've lost the game. Inspire, even though it's a slower mechanic, the games will be over just as fast as aggro. Obviously not like Face Hunter fast, but fast in general. I see games snowballing so fast that you'll have the game won by turn 7 or turn 8 in a well-tuned Inspired deck, and that Caldera Drake will just be way too slow. I don't know, maybe it's the combo. Maybe it's the missing piece of the combo for Inspire, and it will actually get use, but I'm not seeing it. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Give me some feedback. This is, going through cards is fairly new to me. So is our recording. So if you have any feedback, definitely say so. And hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, guys. Bye.